I suppose one normally starts a fairy tale with words like once upon a time, but I can assure you this is no fairy tale. I can tell you that this did happen a long, long time ago. There was a boy that lived with his 3 sisters, his kindly mother, and his evil stepfather, and they lived in a broken home. It was a fragile little trailer home that was broken in the middle due to a very terrible storm. His sisters slept in their own rooms, and the mother and father slept in their room. But the boy did not have a room, so the shadows that crawled in and out of the house were his to relish. The boy slept in the living room and was always a light sleeper. Every creak in the house, every shift in the stripped wooden floorboards was his wake-up call. By day, he worried about making friends and the bullies he encountered. By night, he worried about the shadow man who shuffled in the kitchen and left shattered bottles in the morning. He worried about the misplaced knives and the broken plates in the hallways, which seemingly flew out of the cupboards on their own. During the time, his sisters blamed him for many of the things that happened in the house, even if he was nowhere to be seen during that time. His evil stepfather would often blame him too, and punished him in unusual ways, like facing the wall naked or kneeling on a tree stump covered in sea salt, sometimes for hours. The boy knew he wasn't to blame, however. He knew that he was different. He knew that he saw things differently than how the others did, and the only one who believed him was his loving mother, who did everything she could to protect him from the shadow. One night, the boy went to sleep in the living room like he normally did. When he closed his eyes, visions of shadows invaded his mind. He woke up most disturbed by these visions. He found, however, he could not move a single muscle, except the ones on his head, to look at the nearby wall. It was a wall he was most familiar with, the wall he saw the shadow man walk past in order to get into his sister's room, the wall where the darkness crept, the wall that reflected the most moonlight and glowed a pale white. Except, it was no longer white. The outer edges of that wall darkened and culminated into the middle. The boy struggled to move, but he couldn't. He fought and he tried to scream, but no sound came out. And when his body gave out, the darkness that pooled in the center shot out like a suffocating wind. The boy couldn't breathe or move, and all he could see was nothing. Just darkness. The wind blew past his ears like a church organ, spewing its evil music. When the black veil finally stopped flowing, the boy lay awake with a look of rapture on his face. And from then on, something changed inside. The boy became obsessed with darkness, even though it frightened him. He drew dark things and thought dark thoughts, up until his family drove out his evil stepfather away. The shadow stopped entering his sister's room, stopped shattering glass, and stopped hurting his mother. As he grew up, however, he realized the damage was already done. He realized who the shadow was. They drove the shadow away the same day they drove the father out. But then, was the darkness that poured inside just a dream? Or did the darkness truly awaken him for the first time in his life? thank you all for watching. I decided to share a personal story. One that isn't rooted more so in horror than it is in pain. I grew up with a monster. My family grew up with a monster in their house. And this year marks the 8th year that we've been free of it. But the damage has been done. And I feel like this is the only way that I can move on from it. So, sorry. I'd like to thank all of you for your support, even if it's for a brief moment. And I hope for all of you that this year is gonna be wonderful, and one filled with joy, and light, and warmth. And I hope I can have those things too.